Darlington, a legend among super speedways. The Southland's oldest and greatest action track. Claiming far more than its share of accidents and broken machinery, it's referred to by many as the ultimate equalizer. To a veteran driver, Darlington is the greatest challenge on the circuit. To a rookie, it can be a nightmare. Every foot of this mile and a third oval is paved with humility, every turn lined with intimidation. No other speedway demands and receives more total concentration, not only from the drivers, but owners and crewmen as well. For these reasons, and perhaps several others known only to the men who participate, is a trophy from the granddaddy a most cherished possession. And each driver knows that when he accepts the challenge of the NASCAR trail, he must eventually take the green flag at Darlington. Now, as that span of time before the start narrows, the South Carolina air hangs heavy with tension, and the sounds of power build as cars move into their two abreast starting positions. Donnie Allison in car number 88 had the fastest qualifying speed of 150.689 miles per hour and starts his die-guard Chevy on the pole. 21, David Pearson, is alongside. In the second row, it's car 12, Bobby Allison, and 71, Buddy Baker, followed by Dave Marcus in the Matador number 16 and Cale Yarborough in the car care Chevy 11. George Fulmer and Bobby Isaac share the fourth row. In the ninth position, it's another Chevy number 72 driven by Benny Parsons. And alongside in the 10th spot is the familiar red and blue Dodge Charger number 43 piloted by Richard Petty. These are the top 10 cars and drivers that bring the spectacular 40-car field of the world's fastest late model stockers onto the front chute for the green flag. And the 18th annual Rebel 500 is underway. Number 88, Donnie Allison, hangs it all out and explodes off the pole to take the lead entering turn one. But he's got 39 scramblers following him down every foot of the racetrack. At the end of the first lap, and with all cars wound up, Donnie Allison holds the lead. 12, Bobby Allison is second. Dave Marcus in the Matador 16 is third, with 21, David Pearson fourth. Coming onto the front chute, Pearson unleashes his Purolator Mercury and takes the third spot away from Marcus. First yellow silk of the day snaps down when Rich Childress blows his Chevy number 96 and coasts to a stop on the infield grass in the first turn. The pace car makes a quick departure down pit row, and Donnie and Bobby Allison bring all cars down for the restart. Donnie's first challenge of the day comes one lap later when Bobby tries a wheel under him in the second turn, but Donnie staves him off to maintain the lead. Dave Marcus moves the Matador back into third, dropping Pearson to fourth. Buddy Baker holds down on the fifth position. Pearson does it right down the front chute. He drops into the low groove and fires past Marcus to grab the number 3 spot. Entering turn 3, Bobby Allison finds daylight underneath brother Donnie and squeezes the Coke machine through to take the lead. Now it's Chevy, Mercury, Matador. Here's Fulmer, Yarborough, and Petty holding down on 6th, 7th, and 8th, and closing on the leaders. Down the front chute, Davey Pearson takes the low groove to move around Donnie Allison for second. Another Chevy Let's Go. This time it's number 77, Charlie Roberts. And the yellow flies again. With the caution out, some hot tires and thirsty gas tanks head for pit row, and the crews are ready. Penske's team hits Marcus's Matador almost before he stops. Here's Richard with the Petty Dodge. Number 24, Cecil Gordon. Bud Moore and the crew service George Fulmer's R.C. Cola Ford. And racing's finest pit mechanics, the Wood brothers, do a swap and fill on David Pearson's Purelator Mercury. Suddenly, it's over, and almost simultaneously, all cars smoke rubber to get back on the track. With the pace car out of the way, all cars wind them up and come down for the green. The Chevy number 12, driven by Bobby Allison, is the leader, but watch Pearson. Bobby Allison has everything working on that Chevy but the gas cap, and Pearson still keeps coming on. Pearson tries Allison down the front straight, can't make it, and quickly tucks his car back in behind Bobby's draft. It's a beautiful three-pack of Allison, Pearson, and Allison going into turn 4. Here he comes. Pearson finds his low groove and hits the afterburner on the Mercury to slide past Bobby Allison to take the front spot. It's the first time Davies held the lead, and he just may like the idea. On lap 60, Benny Parsons blew his engine coming into the first turn, spun, and hit the wall. Then, with no place to go, Bobby Isaac crashed into the side of Benny's Chevrolet. Both cars are completely totaled out in less than 10 seconds. The yellow is out, so the wreckers and cleanup crews take over. After all cars made their necessary pit stops under the yellow, the leader is now Buddy Baker in the red Dodge Charger number 71. David Pearson moves around Joe Frazan and into the number 2 position. Slowly, Pearson begins to close the gap on Baker. 88, Donnie Allison is third, and 43, Richard Petty's running fourth. And David dives into his favorite low groove and drops the hammer on Baker to take over the lead. Look out, first turn. It's almost an exact duplication of the Isaac Parsons accident. This time it was Johnny Barnes who blew the engine in his Dodge number 38. And like Isaac, with no place to go, James Hilton nearly split him in half as Johnny came sliding down off the high bank first turn. Here's the replay from our trackside camera. The impact on this accident was tremendous. Both drivers were taken to the hospital. Barnes was unconscious, Hilton for x-rays. Both were released shortly thereafter. With the yellow out, the spotlight swings to pit row. Here, there's a fantastic study in concentration as each crewman awaits his respective car. On the restart, Donnie Allison puts the Dygart Chevy number 88 in the front spot. But watch Dave Marcus in the Matador. He's closing fast. Down the back chute and into turn 3, Marcus unwinds the American Motors entry to pass Allison, and the red, white, and blue number 16 is the new leader. David Pearson is not to be denied on this day, and he screams underneath Baker to take over third. Number 71, Buddy Baker, is fourth now, but it may only be temporary because he's been swapping front spots all day. On the front chute, Pearson goes to the inside to pass Donnie Allison. He's number 2 now and looking for the Matador. Flat out down the chute, David Pearson pops the cork on his red and white number 21 and sizzles past Marcus to grab the lead. Hey, Mr. Cool is out front again. Marcus is second with Donnie Allison breathing heavy right on his back bumper. In the first turn, Allison puts the pressure on Marcus. He goes a little too high and brushes the Matador against the guardrail. Meanwhile, Donnie slides into second. On the 213th lap, Petty whips his Charger into the pits for an unscheduled stop. This could mean some trouble for Richard. The stop is longer than usual, 28 seconds before he heads back on the track. Hey, third turn is hot. Lenny Pond in number 54 blew his engine at the end of the back straight, lost it, and careened hard off the outside guardrail. At about that same instant, Cale Yarborough hit the slick and put his Chevy on a spinner, but he kept it off the wall. Lenny is all right, but that car won't race anymore today. The steel guardrail was damaged badly, being broken in a couple of areas. The cars ran about 20 laps under the caution flag when the officials decided that the rail should be repaired before they could resume the race. Wreckers and welding equipment were brought out, and the work began. At this point, the red flag flew, and the cars brought to a halt on the front straightaway. With the guardrail repaired and 79 laps to go, Buddy Baker leads all cars down for the restart. Everybody pitted under the yellow for a full tank of fuel and tires. Now they'll try to go the distance, and it's liable to be close. By the time they hit the second turn, Bobby Allison has the lead. Baker is now second with Pearson third and coming on. Allison tries to pull away and stretch his lead, but Buddy Baker hangs on a very close second. Richard Petty develops engine trouble, and on the 260th lap brings the Dodge into the garage area and out of the race. It's number 12, Bobby Allison with the lead. 71, Buddy Baker second, and 21, Pearson still running third. Watch Pearson. He's got a wheel alongside Baker. He may take him. And he does it. Entering turn one, the Purolator Mercury has the second spot. And now Davey has his sights set on Bobby Allison's Coke machine. Right down the front chute in the low groove he's been using all day. David Pearson blows the doors off Allison's Chevy to regain the lead. But Bobby's a fighter, and this is all the challenge he needs. Both drivers are going to gamble on fuel. Neither will pit. From here on, it's a flat-out, belly-down run for the wire. Can they make it? Along pit row, the tension is so thick you can almost cut it with a knife. Every crewman has worn out his computer trying to estimate fuel consumption. All cars received a full tank of gas before the last restart. On that last green flag, they had 79 laps to go. On this track at these speeds, they figure maximum distance on one tank of fuel will average between 75 and 80 laps. How close can you play it? The white flag falls on David Pearson. One more lap to go. About one more mile. Can he make it? Suddenly, it happens on the back chute. Second place, Bobby Allison runs out of gasoline. He'll coast to the finish line, and with a very quiet engine. David Pearson charges right out of the middle of the fourth turn onto the long front straight and fires his Mercury under the checkered flag. Winner of the 18th annual Rebel 500. Meanwhile, Bobby Allison coasted his Chevy across the finish line and just 3 feet ahead of third place holder Buddy Baker to grab the second place money. Donnie Allison finished fourth, Cale Yarborough fifth, and Dave Marcus brought the Matador home sixth. In case you doubt the presence of a gal called Lady Luck, just ask David Pearson and the Wood brothers. They'll tell you all about her. And how their Mercury coasted into victory lane with a bone-dry gas tank. The last 3 laps were filled with apprehension for David because he didn't know when thirst would catch up with a big Merc and she'd quit. But it's all over now. This Rebel 500 is history. The Queen, a trophy, $16,000, and a couple of tons of happiness made David forget about the past 4 hours of tension and nervous strain. You see, Victory Lane has a way of doing that to a guy.